Hi there, everybody. Good morning. It's so nice to be here with all of you. Wonderful job, Sarah. That was a great speech, very relatable. Um, and by the way, is the projector working?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Uh, Not yet, but I want to make sure that it's just working and
So it's on.
yes. Yes. I noticed that the audio was on, but not the video.
Right, so the control for it is over here on this side. So if you needed to turn it on, it's in off.
Yeah. So. One day. I was sitting in choir practice at a church as a middle schooler at a local homeschoolers group. It was the day that the choir director decided to change the music that my classmates and I would sing that semester. The choir director then proceeded to have us do an activity where we switched out our current music from our loose leaves to then put in new music. The only problem was I did not know how to do that, but my peers did. And so thankfully, my mom was in the room sitting with the other moms, and she was able to rush in and help me, even though it was embarrassing to have my mom helping me around other young people my age. This is just one example of many times growing up, where my mom or brother have had to help me with seemingly simple tasks due to my physical disability. From fine and gross motor skills to other mundane tasks, sometimes everyday life can be unpredictable. I have a physical disability called cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is considered by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, to be the most common motor disability in childhood. According to the Cambridge English Dictionary, the definition of the word motor is relating to muscles that produce movement, or the nerves and parts of the brain that control these muscles. There are two different types of motor skills. There are fine motor skills, which according to the Cleveland Clinic, refer to the tiny movements that we make with our hands, fingers, feet, and toes. These movements help you do intricate tasks. Things like cutting your nails, or tying your shoes, or doing children's arts and crafts activities, which you may remember doing as a kid. They were fun. But this is something that, depending on the activity, I may still have difficulty with today. And then there's gross motor skills. And the word gross does not refer to something that's off-putting in the way that we would normally think of it, but rather it refers to the movement of your limbs in your body, or as the Cleveland Clinic would say, once again, the large sweeping movements that we make with our arms, legs, and torso. In regards to my fine motor skill set, I used to get something called occupational therapy when I was younger, where the therapist would teach me what are called life skills. I personally would define life skills as things that you may do all the time without recognizing that you know how to do them intuitively. There are many different tasks that I may have difficulty with that may come more easily to others, such as putting my watch on my wrist or attaching my dorm key to my lanyard here. I had to ask my roommate for help with doing that. Others may be able to do these tasks without explanation or assistance. That's the difference. Thankfully, adjustments can be made to some tasks so that we can make them easier to do. For example, you may have noticed that I have elastic shoelaces on my shoes. fact, I will show you all of them here right now. You probably can't see, but they're right there. So then this way, I never have to tie my shoes, which saves me a lot of time, especially as I was running over here to Hatch, because as we know, um, it's, it's quite a walk from the dorms here. So I can just put my shoes on and they are already at the level of tightness that I like on my feet. These elastic shoelaces are a form of what's called assistive technology, which is defined by the Iowa state government as any device that allows a person with a disability to do what they need or want to do. Having elastic shoelaces is an accommodation I use to help myself. But unfortunately, I find that it's difficult to adapt some tasks. And not all tasks are able to be categorized into the two categories of fine and gross motor skills, which makes it harder to describe to others why I sometimes need assistance with that. Here's the key. Fine motor skills are one thing, but life becomes harder when skills others know how to do intuitively. Even those without a fine motor or gross motor component do not come naturally, as you'll see. And one example is, remember the name tags that we would put on our desk here? When I wrote my name tag, I wasn't sure on which side of the paper to write my name, and then how to fold it so that my name would show on the front of my desk, and which direction to put the paper in. So that's an example of how modeling behavior is sometimes difficult, especially for those who fall on the neurodivergent spectrum, whether that's ADHD, autism, learning disabilities, or a variety of so many other conditions. And so now I am going to show you a video of me attempting to fix or to use my Apple MacBook charger. And so you will see this principle in action. I feel like a professor here because I always see them using this right here. So yeah, this is fun. Okay, can you guys see this? Yes, you can. Awesome. And let me know if you can hear.
So if you are ever wondering what a moment with cerebral palsy is like, this is one of them. So it is late and I'm trying to just get to bed as fast as I can because I'm really tired. But I have to prepare for the next morning of being at college. And I'm sitting here in my dorm room trying to figure out how to put this in the hole of this Apple charger. And of course, with the way Apple designs its products, they try to design their products in a way that's unique so they can make a profit off of proprietary items. But honestly, it's quite annoying to have to try to figure out their design, because how do you get an object that looks like this into a hole? It looks like it looks easy, like you could just slip it in here. But notice how this little metal thing or this magnet, whatever this is, gets in the way. What does that say there? It's just the model ID number. So if I try to do this here. So I'm going to try I was able to do it horizontally, but as you can see, that that really shouldn't have taken 2 whole minutes, but it did. So that's a cerebral palsy moment, folks. It's that wasn't necessarily a fine motor or gross motor skill. Which cerebral palsy is a motor disability, so, but I know that it does affect people's ability to do life skills. So. Yeah,
Now, some of, oops,
so,
that's another video on my YouTube channel that you can check out. I have a cerebral palsy moments series on there because I want to document these things to raise more awareness. But some of you may have. Okay, let me just minimize it. Some of you may have wondered why I didn't edit out the portion of the video where I was working on the activity. And that was on purpose because I had thought about it, but then I thought, well, by leaving it in, it shows the difficulty of what I'm doing. It shows the tension of, oh no, I'm on video, I have to do this quickly. And it gives you a glimpse into what everyday life is like in a society that is set up for lovely non-disabled folks, and how sometimes we don't often slow down. And so that was all done purposefully. And I did not have any sophisticated video editing equipment there. I just had my phone because I was in my dorm. So I did the best that I could there, but so I hope that was helpful for all of you to see. And so in summary, I want to say that although I have a disability, I love it. Because while it does come with challenges, as you saw, and that's just scratching the surface, by the way. You may have noticed that I sometimes have trouble speaking as well, and there's other things, but my disability gives me a sense of fulfilling purpose. And if there's anything that I can leave you with today, it would be to find what gives you a sense of purpose with what makes you, what makes you unique, because it's okay to be who you are and to be yourself. I remember when my physical therapist, when I was 17, so this was a while ago, because I'm 24, I'm probably the oldest person here. And I remember when she said to me, Christian, and so did my mom too, like it was both of them at the same time. They said, your universe will open up if you tell others about your disability. And so it was during that year when I began to publicly identify as disabled, which I wasn't used to at first, because I tried to live a life where I could blend in with others. But by blending in, I was hiding some of who I was. And so I'm very thankful for this opportunity today to talk about how my disability has impacted my life with fine, gross, and other life skills. And if you have any questions about anything that I've said, please do not hesitate to ask me. I love sharing about disability studies, which is what I major in, or just anything about disability in general. And you guys know about my YouTube channel with my other disability themed videos. And I also write songs about disability, if that's interesting to you all. After all, I want to show that even though others may have trouble with fine and gross motor skills, particularly with spontaneous activities, because that's often how they happen, with loose leaves or other random items, that we will do just fine with some practice. I get it, I like puns, just fine. So I want to thank you all for listening and really being engaged in this topic with me. And I also want to thank you guys for being part of Millersville's community and really living out the ethic values. And you know, two of my favorites are inclusion and compassion. I have really noticed that here, and it's very noteworthy, and I just want to say thank you. It's what makes Millersville unique, and it's what makes all of you awesome. So I really do appreciate you guys listening. Thank you so much.
Be good, Christian.
Thank you, Dan.